All right, it's your show.
It is my show, and I don't know how we're going to transition, but we will try right now with our next question, sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Jeremy in Minneapolis. Stephanie McMahon gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal on March 30th entitled, "Super Serve Your Fans to Drive Participation." There's a link to the article here. Of the several takeaways from the interview, the most notable is how the WWE, quote, have close to 60 data scientists working at WWE, have close to 60 data scientists working at WWE, constantly analyzing our data and synthesizing it to determine which wrestlers and storylines receive a push.
Synthesize data. Wait a minute. How do you synthesize? Isn't that synthesize means make it artificially, right?
I think they mean correlate the data.
They're making their own artificial data. No, hold on one. Just put your brakes on there. Pump the brakes there 1 second there, fella. The American Heritage Dictionary 3rd edition. We've gone past spat, spinal column. By the way, Stacy's surgery is tomorrow as we record this, but it will be yesterday as it's heard, and I thank everybody for the well wishes that they have sent. And there's somebody calling in the background right now to say good luck. But anyway, synthesizer, synthetic of or produced by synthesis. Where did I miss?
This is synthesizing.
Synthesize the combining of separate elements or substances to form a coherent whole. Formation of a compound from simpler compounds or elements. My whole, the complex whole so formed. Very synthetic. Of or produced by synthesis. Not natural or genuine, artificial. A synthetic chemical compound. So they're making up their own goddamn information. Go ahead.
These data scientists might have over $3 million in business marketing education, but not one damn nickel's worth of wrestling knowledge. How can people this smart be this stupid? Which data scientist watched The Fiend wrestle a 0-star match and decided, we need another one?
I thought you were still quoting Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, no. How do you think the boys in the locker room feel about seeing their paychecks being lower and their friends being fired to pay for 60 data scientists? How many data scientists does it take to see continually decreasing ratings to realize that fans want real wrestling back? And that's
how many data scientists does it take to screw up data?
60.
Have you ever heard that?
I've never heard that. I'm gonna click this link just to make sure it wasn't an early April Fool's joke. No, here it is. No, Wall Street Journal. I have an online subscription, so I can access.
But I'm not saying she didn't say it. I'm just saying it's bullshit. When I worked there were the sum total of 0 data scientists. I know that was quite a while back. But does NASA have 60 data scientists? Is this some hyperbole on her part? Did they hire Howie from the mailroom guy? Did he go through a night class and now they've hired him to be a data scientist?
Okay, hold on. I found the part of this
actually there was a guy from the mailroom named Howie, by the way.
I know that.
He was one of those fellas.
Here's the part of the interview. Let me read the entire answer. First of all, everything I'm looking at here, it reads like just complete soulless corporate speak. But this specific answer, the question, I love that notion. It's the whole idea behind the participation trend, creating a two-way conversation with customers and making them an integral part of the brand. What role do data and analytics play in helping you do this? Stephanie's response, they play a huge role. We currently have close to 60 data scientists working at WWE, constantly analyzing our data and synthesizing it. The team can, for example, track the impact a performer or storyline has on viewership and social media activity and tie increases in engagement to content that was airing at specific times during one of our TV programs. Merchandise sales are also a key indicator of how popular our stars are and whether they're resonating. There's a whole cosplay side to our business.
Boy, you ain't shitting there, Stephanie.
Where people want to dress the part of their favorite performer.
Yeah, so sometimes they want to be their favorite performer. Sometimes they are their favorite performer.
So merchandise sales are an important metric. WWE Network, our streaming content platform, also provides data points that are helpful. Like many brands, we're getting great at data collection. Where we can improve is in the analysis piece, determining which data is most meaningful and pulling out themes to apply across business.
What the fuck did she just say?
It's, did
any part of that say, well, our data tells us that our shit looks fake and that nobody cares about anybody on the show because they all act like idiots?
Here's another question. WWE's content strategy plays a key role in driving fan engagement. How do you keep content and storylines fresh? How do you gauge what's resonating? The answer from Stephanie? The audience has a tremendous impact on what we do. It's one of the advantages of being live. We listen to the live audience and gather feedback through digital and social media to determine which storylines and performers are resonating and why. We're constantly looking at data across our content distribution ecosystem, which includes linear TV for our weekly TV shows and reality programming, our streaming WWE network, and our digital and social channels. We have separate teams developing the content for those various platforms, and they're all telling stories and amplifying them in the most effective way for each channel. Even within social media, our content can't be one size fits all. What did she say?
I don't know. You can't tell what the product is from the way she speaks. Are they selling Van Camp's pork and beans? Well, maybe some fucking canned sweet corn. That right there is what happened to wrestling. People got involved that went to business school and learned a lot of them big words, Jethro. But they have no idea of how to apply them to actually what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. Because it's wrestling and they don't get it. And I know, and people are going to be, oh, Stephanie grew up around. I've said this before. If you think Stephanie grew up around the wrestling business, you're out of your fucking mind. And if you pump gas at a fucking Exxon station, when the chairman of Exxon pulls up with his daughter in the car, do you bother to share with her all the fucking ways that her father's fucking up that company from your working man standpoint? Or do you say, boy, your daddy runs a hell of an oil company?
Well, here's another quote here asking about how COVID-19 affected WWE's interaction with fans. After a few months of shows in the Performance Center, we decided to invest in our production capabilities and launched the WWE Thunderdome, a virtual event set. It allows us to bring in, virtually, nearly 1,000 fans for live productions, and they become part of the show. It's set up in the round, like an arena, and fans appear on video boards. We mix in audio and have been able to experiment with lasers, pyrotechnics, drone cameras,
and birds flying out of Matt Riddle's ass,
and augmented reality in ways we've never been able to before. It was imperative for us to bring the spectacle back to WWE, and that's what we did. I was just looking to see if there was any mention of Andre the Giant being her friend when she was a kid, because she mentions that every time I see her.
They were very close.
Andre was my friend. Yeah, the same way the guys who worked in my family's factory were my friends. Andre was her friend.
Well, and I bet next week on Young Rock, Stephanie will be sitting in the living room when Andre and JYD and the Iron Sheik are hanging around. Little Rock will be hanging out with little Stephanie.
She'll be booking the Battle Royal, yeah.
I mean, it's all... In all seriousness, without just trying to browbeat them, it's caca, it's garbage, it's big business, there's no passion, there's no emotion. Wrestling, at the root of it, is about stirring up people's emotions to watch somebody fight. And if the heel offends them and does things in bad taste, that's even a plus. And if the babyface triumphs overall at the end, then everybody got their money's worth. And they have wrung and pasteurized and homogenized all the spontaneity and the personality out of it and the legitimacy and the realism, the aura of violence. It's marketed and packaged and cleaned up and polished off. And they do have fans that like what they do because it's been long enough now and these people are young enough or they, whatever, that they don't care, that they either haven't seen how it was supposed to be done or they just like what they're doing here. As we know, some people in Germany like to have their balls nailed to a step stool. So they interact with those people and get their information and sell them more shit. And it's the same thing as we've been talking about here for the past few years we've been doing this podcast. Wrestling has devolved to the point where fewer people watch it than ever before, but those people spend more money per head. And so these massive companies like the WWE are trying to figure out a way to squeeze every last dollar out of the remaining people that they haven't run off by making this whole business and whole enterprise look like a bunch of fake, stupid shit. And then there's us listening to this program and doing this program that have given up on trying to save the shit and now just kind of want to make fun of it, and because to have something to do since we all remember how good it used to be before they started fucking with it.